Tonight, it's a primetime reunion of old friends, some gone but not forgotten. But first, meet the people who will not be partying this New Year's Eve. Instead, they're working. The caterer, the city morgue investigator, the doctor, the showgirl. And yours truly, Gary Papa, on duty with our New Year's stories. Tonight, on Primetime.
It's the prime time of my life, doing what I always dreamed I'd do, feeling free and being me in the prime time of my life.
From Thanksgiving till all the way through to New Year's is party time. It is one large party. You're saying New Year's Eve like tonight, but this is the culmination of one big party time month.
It may be party time for others, but not so for Susan Ellman of Broomall. For her and the catering business she calls the incredibly edible delights, the holiday season means work, work, work.
Incredibly edible delights, Lorraine speaking.
We've taken honeydew and cantaloupe and kiwi and strawberry and pineapples and grapes, and we've cut them and carved them and put them in a basket in this lettuce line, and we make it look like a bouquet of flowers. So it is a fun way to get a present or an interesting thing for a table. Everybody looks at it and has fun with it. And then they're supposed to eat it. On a given average day, we could do 25 baskets a day, covering the entire city.
But on a day like today, their output doubles and triples. In fact, to keep up with the demand from all the fruit-devouring party animals throughout the Delaware Valley, Susan and company have been slicing and dicing since dawn.
Actually, on New Year's Eve at 12 o'clock, I know that many of the people here are, if they're at a party, they are sitting there very stunted like this, or they're under the table, or like myself, sound asleep, and they're tired. We do toast New Year's together. We bring in a bottle of Asti, and when we're done, we toast the New Year. And we all congratulate one another for doing a good job. And we go home and die.
Medical Examiner's Office, Johnson. May I help you?
Now, if your name comes up in this conversation, chances are you're beyond help.
Okay.
Why? Because Charles Johnson is an investigator for the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office, and what he investigates is death. Tonight, as you are partying, he is
Working, waiting for the phone to ring, and at the same time hoping it doesn't, because if it does, that means somebody has died. Well, it's going to be lonely because I will be here alone. Myself and one other person will be in the office, and we will talk back and forth until the telephone rings. Police will call, or a doctor will call with a report of death. Somebody is killed in a vehicle accident, or somebody is found at home also alone, dead, and I will take a report on that.
And that report will be filed into this date book, whose 1988 entries are rapidly drawing to a close.
Normally on New Year's Eve, we will average approximately 7 to 10 calls during that 8-hour period. One thing I have noticed, most of those that I work, usually the first call I get is normally a vehicle accident. Someone has had too much to drink and smashed up a car.
And we hope that none of you watching this will end up as entries in this book tonight, and that you won't be part of the conversation that begins with
Medical Examiner's Office, Johnson. May I help you?
But Dr. Patricia McConnell also wants to help you this evening to bring life into the new year. She's a third-year resident in the obstetrics department of Lankenau Hospital, just outside Philadelphia, near Ardmore. And yes, tonight, she's on duty.
We all have to work our share of holidays, and we would rather not work a holiday, but we each get our turn at it. So this just happens to be my holiday that I have to work. And my husband misses me. He's at home probably watching TV. He might come in and have dinner with me tonight, but otherwise, it's kind of lonely, I guess, being at home by himself. And I'm stuck here, but at least it's an exciting night to be on call.
Exciting because there's always the chance that she might deliver the first baby of the new year.
I think they're real excited. They've been looking forward to it for a long time. I know my sister-in-law is due around this time of year, and you wonder if they're going to be born at Christmas or if they'll make it till New Year's. You're just not really sure. Most of the parents would rather have the baby born on the 31st of December for tax reasons. So there's a lot of discussion as far as that goes. Also, I remember last year, the 31st of December was one of the busiest days we ever had. We just had a lot of babies born on the 31st. And then when it came to New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we just waited and waited a long time till the baby finally was born.
It's a special moment for her as well as the parents, helping bring babies into the world this time of year.
It's a more special moment. I think the parents, it sticks in their mind a little bit more, and they remember you. Usually you get a little letter or note or something the next day or a couple days later, and they thank you for being there and participating. They just remember you. It's a really nice feeling.
Talk about a nice feeling. What would you be doing if you didn't have to work tonight?
Well, I'd probably be out partying with a lot of my friends. Maybe have some people over for dinner and go to a party somewhere, have some fun.
Any last messages for 1988?
I don't know, just everybody have a great 1989. Hope you're all having a lot more fun than I am.
Now, Gwen Rich is having fun her own way by working hard tonight here at Lily Langtry's in the Valley Forge Sheraton Hotel. She's out here instead of down there because...
It's in my contract, but it doesn't bother me at all. I get invited to everyone's parties. I'm in charge of the time, so whatever my clock says, no matter what, I'm right. So we go by my time. I don't have hangovers on New Year's Day. That's the greatest part. And I've been some great places on New Year's Eve, too. Monte Carlo, St. Martin, Bermuda, Valley Forge. Oh, dear.
But don't you sometimes just wish you didn't have to show up for the show on New Year's?
It doesn't bother me one bit. I don't know the difference. Every time I had a New Year's Eve, they were really bad anyway. I'd get in fights with my boyfriend, or they always turned out bad. So it's not a messy night. The next day I feel good, and I don't mind it at all.
But won't there come a time?
Well, you can't be a showgirl forever, so I'm sure that I will have my New Year's Eve someday.
And if you could have it perfectly your way, how would that be?
That's a hard question. I mean, that's hard to say. That's just too hypothetical. How can I say that? I would find a job where I had to work New Year's Eve. That's what I would do.
Gary Papa, hello. Now, to be perfectly honest, anchoring sports for Action News, as enjoyable and as rewarding as it is, would not be at the very top of my own list for fun things to do on New Year's Eve. Get the editor, tell him to give me the touchdown and the missed extra point, and then the big fight at the end of the game. Okay. Got to show those fights. Okay. But what the heck, it's Saturday night, and it's my job to be here. Here just a few short hours before airtime, and we're keeping track of dozens of football games being played all at once around the country, not to mention basketball, hockey, badminton, curling, skittles, tiddlywinks, and all the trades, insults, and injuries that keep the sports world always on a boil. If you get Eagles' reaction off the feed, let me know, all right? Now, all this information has to be edited, pulling images and sound bites into a 6-minute sports show. We'll take the player watching, then the reaction. But all this could be changed by a phone call. Some late-breaking development may mean the show needs to be recut and rewritten. Now it's downstairs to join Rob Jennings on the set. Let's hope that the sound and picture, director, producer, and engineer can all conspire with me to bring you a glitch-free, up-to-date, heaping helping of news.
Gary Papa's joining us with all the fun details.
Stop 3, you can show 4.
Gary Papa and the entire Action News team, I'm Rob Jennings. We'll see you later on tonight.
Then it's back upstairs to the phone and the typewriter. touchdown. Now, Kathy, keep the champagne on ice. I'll try to be out of here by 11:30. I will be home by midnight. I will try to be home by midnight, but if I don't, Happy New Year.
Papa, pick up on Unicom 1, please. Gary, Papa, pick up on it.
On New Year's Eve? Hello? No. We've tried the experts, but all too often the experts have been wrong. So we're going to take a look at New Year's from a different perspective through an astrological telescope. Next on Primetime. Over the 10.5 years that Primetime has been on the air, we've talked to a lot of experts about what the future held in store for us. And we learned that worm farming was the answer to the trash crisis, that diamonds were an investor's best friend, that teeny tiny electric automobiles were the way to go. Joan Rivers and her now late husband Edgar were convinced that local folks would applaud her plans to build a Hollywood-style studio in Bucks County. We were also informed that the checklist age of banking was right around the corner, and that oil well drilling was a hot trade to get into. Guess what? Those experts we talked to, well, they were all wrong. The worm turned on the worm farmers. The bottom dropped out of the diamond market. The electric car collided with the oil glut. Joan Rivers and Edgar Rosenberg were told they could take their studio and stick it someplace else. Banks are still bogged down in paper, and the oil drilling business went bust as OPEC sold out to the lowest bidder. So we thought at this moment of looking ahead to a brand new year that we would dispense with the conventional experts and give some other kind of seer a shot at our future, those whose predictions are studiously starry-eyed. Of course, we're talking about astrologers. They've lined up next year on their star charts, beginning with the economy.
I'm really glad I don't have Philadelphia's chart. It looks economically disastrous. Planets in its money house are being transited in a very negative way, or squares, which means challenges and obstacles. And in astrology, that doesn't mean it has to be a disaster, but certainly rings a bell of time to take some care here. And with the history of Philadelphia financially as it stands, it looks like bankruptcy coming in, frankly.
There's a lot of the rebuilding of roads, bridges. I would say there's going to be a lot more coming up that they're going to have to fix. Maybe the water lines, the sewer lines. There's going to have to be money, a lot of money put into the city in 1989. It looks like taxes will be raised to take care of that. In a sense, it's cleanup time for Philly in every sense of the word. More corruption coming up that will be cleaned out. I mean, basically at the end of 89 going into 1990, I think we're going to be really seeing a new Philadelphia.
Things are going to come out of the blue that are going to shock people over this next year, like the Judge story. If that's going to look lightweight compared to some of the stuff that's going to come out. So there's going to be a lot of shocks and secrets about the system coming out.
In fact, Philadelphia is a Scorpio city, and what's happening is the planet Pluto is going over Philadelphia's sun this year. Basically, what Pluto does by transit in its cycle, when it contacts the sun of a city,